Hey, how's it going, guys? This is DJ Face120 here, and I'm back with another week of NFL predictions. This is week 4. Before the video starts, I'd like to thank you guys. My last video of predictions was my highest viewed on my channel ever, with over 420 views, so give you a clap for that. So yeah, here's my week of predictions. So let's start off by showing my record for this last week of predictions. My record is right here. Yeah, it's not that great. Okay, it's not that great, but it would have got me into the playoffs in the NFC West a couple of years ago. How was I supposed to know that the Jaguars would destroy the Ravens, that the Bears would actually win a game, that the Broncos would drop one to the Bills? I mean, I'm only human, I also put way too much faith in the Cleveland Browns. So that record means nothing. So this week we're going to get better than last week. So right now, here are my predictions. Let's start it off with our Thursday night game. We have the Bears versus the Packers. So let's break this game down a bit. You got the Bears, who just came off of their first win in a while, and also you have the Packers. Well, we see the Bears had their win. Stewart was on fire, and it could be a possible win. But you get the Packers, who played an overtime win against the Bengals. Now, Aaron Rodgers, that was actually, if you didn't know, his first ever overtime win. So this game, I think it may be a little bit closer than people speculate. It's always a good rivalry between these two teams. But I think Aaron Rodgers will have a good game in this one, and I think the Packers will beat the Bears on Thursday night. Next, Saints at Dolphins. First of all, let me say I told you Drew Brees would have a good game last week against the Panthers. The Dolphins dropped one to the New York Jets. So I'm going to have to say in this one, the Saints will beat the Dolphins. Jay Cutler, I mean, you guys still have him for a little bit. So good luck with that one. The next game is a Super Bowl 38 rematch, except this time Jake Delhomme isn't the starting quarterback for the Panthers. You have Cam Newton against Tom Brady and his Patriots. First of all, the Panthers and Cam Newton are really struggling. I mean, they were 2-1, but their offense, you can't admit, is a bit struggling, especially last week, where Cam Newton had a 4.2, 4.3 QBR, which was one of the lowest in the NFL. And although I did say the Patriots were going to win a huge game, it wasn't going to be close. They were in a close game, but Tom Brady made that fourth quarter comeback. However, I'm going to say in this one, Patriots are going to get an easy win against the Panthers. Next, we got Jaguars versus the Jets. Jaguars, let me say I did not expect you guys to blow out the Ravens 44-7. But I will say the Jets played a decent game against the Dolphins. However, I think the Jaguars are going to end up topping the Jets. I think maybe the Jets may have been a little bit of a fluke. Maybe they're playing against a weak Miami Dolphins team. But I just think that the Jaguars are looking really good as of right now, and they will beat the Jets. Got Titans versus the Texans. After the Titans pulled out a great win, I told you that they beat the Seahawks, may I add, and the Texans, who came off of a really shocking almost win against the Patriots that came down to a dude dropping an interception. Let me first say that Deshaun Watson was looking great in that start against the Patriots. Also, the Titans looked very good against the Seahawks, although the Seahawks may seem like they're struggling big. Russ Wilson had 4 touchdowns, but I digress. I believe this one will be a really good game to watch, but I think Tennessee will again win, and the Texans will lose. So Tennessee over the Texans. Next game is the Rams versus the Cowboys. The Cowboys came off of a great win against the Arizona Cardinals on Monday night, which I told you would come down to key sacks by the defense and good game by Dak Prescott, which it did. So the Rams have been having a really good offense as of recently. So against this Cowboys defense, it may be a little bit tougher. They were definitely good at getting rushing on the quarterback. I say Dallas will get that pressure on the quarterback again this week, and I think that they may give the Rams a loss. Next game is 49ers versus the Cardinals. After a hot scoring and almost a comeback against the Rams, the 49ers are going in Arizona against the Cardinals, who started off hot, but their offensive line just shattered against the Cowboys rush. Larry Fitzgerald still had a good game. Carson Palmer started off great, hitting his first 11 passes. if they can just block, I feel like this would be an easy win for the Cardinals. So I'm going to say that they do that and the Cardinals win against the Niners. Next, we got one of the NFL's greatest rivalries, Steelers versus Ravens. However, as in recently, it's been a little bit lackluster, but there's still, hard hits without Ray Lewis and Troy Polamalu in there. This one, it's going to be a close game because of the rivalry. It's always that close of a game. However, after last week's game, the Steelers got beat by the Bears. I think that may be a fluke. They may be looking for a comeback. Ravens got demolished by the Jaguars. They may be looking for a comeback, so this may be a really close game. It's going to be tough to decide 50-50 on this one. However, I think that the Steelers will take this game against the Baltimore Ravens. These two teams are just looking for a win right now. After the Browns could have made a comeback against the Colts after I picked them to beat the Colts, which again put too much faith in the Browns. Gosh dang it, Cleveland. But they're playing against a Cincinnati team who almost beat the Packers, and it came down to a comeback by the great Aaron Rodgers to get that win at the end. However, I think this one, the team who will get their first win this season is the Cincinnati Bengals. I feel like right now their offense may start ticking again, and I feel like that could lead them over the win against Cleveland. So I'm sorry, Cleveland fans. I just don't want to put too much faith in you right now. That's what you guys get. Got the Lions versus the Vikings. So let me first say, Lions took a loss against the Falcons. Let me pause a bit for you guys who are a little bit triggered by that loss. Okay, it's over now. They lost to the Falcons on a last-second controversial play that ended up having a 10-second runoff in the end. It was not a touchdown. Again, don't help I didn't trigger you guys, but it definitely was not a touchdown. However, I do think the 10-second runoff is a little bit absurd just because there is 8 seconds. You could have ran at least one more play, maybe. I don't know, that's just speculation at this point. But the Vikings came off of a very impressive showing by their quarterback, Case Keenum, and their running back, Dalvin Cook, who, if you saw my last video about football, then you'd see that I thought Dalvin Cook would have a great season being one of the best rookie running backs in the league. So right now, it looks like it's going to be a really good game, Lions versus Vikings. However, I'm not going to take a bet against the Vikings as of right now. They're a really hot team. The quarterback's doing really good. I think that the Vikings at home will beat the Lions. So next is Bills versus the Atlanta Falcons. The Bills come off of a very impressive win, actually, to the Broncos. And Tyrod Taylor looked pretty decent out there, I'm not going to lie. I told you guys that game can go either way because you never know who's going to have a big game. However, I did pick the Broncos, and I was wrong last week. They played the Atlanta Falcons, who came off of that win against the Lions. This game is at home for the Falcons, and I think they're going to pull off just because that's home. They're still a really good team, and I feel like the Falcons are going to take the game against the Bills in this one. Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at the San Diego Chargers. Wait a second. They're in Los Angeles now. Against the Los Angeles Chargers. And Los Angeles has been having a short streak the past couple games. They lost against the Chiefs. Yeah, Phillip Rivers threw too many picks, obviously. And, they're playing against the Eagles, who came off of a shocking 61-yard field goal by an ex-squad kicker. An ex-practice squad kicker beat the Giants on a 61-yard field goal. Now, Darren Sproles is out for the rest of the season. I don't know if you know that, but he's out. This may be a really decent game, especially playing in Los Angeles. However, I think the Philadelphia Eagles will beat the Chargers in this one. You got Giants versus the Buccaneers. See, the Buccaneers come off of a game against the Vikings, where the Vikings are a good team, and the Buccaneers still played pretty decently of a game against the Giants, who dropped that game to the Eagles again with that 61-yard field goal after Odell Beckham Jr. did this after a touchdown. However, this game, the Giants are looking for a win. I just can't see them winning. They're still having troubles protecting the quarterback. And I just think the Buccaneers are a pretty decent team, well-rounded, and the Buccaneers will win against the Giants. Next game, you got the Oakland Raiders. They're in Oakland, right? They're not in Los Angeles? No. Not in Las Vegas? No. Mexico City? No. None of the, okay. Oakland. Okay. Oakland. Versus the Denver Broncos. Both teams that I chose to win last week dropped their games. The Broncos lost the Bills, and the Raiders lost the Washington Redskins. The Raiders could not get anything going on offense. I don't think they even got one third down conversion the whole entire game, which is ridiculous to think about. This game is being played in Denver. I think this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a close toss-up between two really, really good teams. But in this game, I'm going to have to give it to the home team. I think the Oakland Raiders will lose to the Broncos in this one. Next game, you get Indianapolis Colts versus the Seattle Seahawks. Indianapolis just came off of a close win against the Browns, almost allowing another fourth quarter comeback. Now, I said the Browns would win. They almost did, but they didn't. Sorry, Indianapolis. Against a Seattle Seahawks team who lost to Tennessee Titans. However, Russell Wilson didn't look too bad against the Titans. Threw 4 touchdowns. Pretty good, actually. I think that the Seahawks will actually come back and do better against this team. I don't think the backup Jacoby Brissett, I don't think he'll have a good game at all, actually, against the Seahawks defense. So I think the defense will be the key in this one, although Russell Wilson will make a pretty decent amount of plays. I think Indianapolis Colts will lose this one. Seahawks will beat the Colts. You got this Monday night game against the Redskins and the Chiefs. Battle of the Native Americans. Can I say that? Yeah, you got the Redskins versus the Chiefs. Redskins and Chiefs both coming off of pretty great wins. This is going to be a really great game, I think. A really great Monday night game. However, they're playing in Kansas City. Kansas City has a great home atmosphere. And again, it'll be a tough game. I think it may even go to overtime. Maybe a last-second play. I think the Redskins will topple this one. I think the Chiefs will end up beating the Redskins. So that's it with all my predictions for this week. I hope I do better this week. I'm sorry about last week. But again, I just like to thank you guys for getting my most viewed video on this channel. I hope you drop a like, drop any comments, tell me how you think the games are actually going to go this week. And subscribe, please. And I really hope to see you guys again in my next video. So, see you later.